Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to share some powerful editing effects that can transform your videos and make them look more professional and engaging, all within Filmora 14. Whether you're looking to enhance colors, create smooth camera movements, add dynamic effects, or just make your footage pop, these techniques are easy to follow and great for any skill level. So let's jump right in. Alright, let's start by enhancing your video using the Auto Enhance feature. This tool automatically adjusts your video's brightness, contrast, and color, giving it a much clearer and vibrant look. It's a super handy feature to improve your video quality quickly. To use it, first, add your video to the timeline. Then, go to the Settings panel, find the Auto Enhance section, and enable it. You'll notice that the contrast is automatically adjusted, and your video looks much clearer. If you want more control, you can adjust the strength of the enhancement using the slider. If you want to apply it as an effect, go to the Effects tab, search for Auto Enhance, and drag it onto your video layer or adjustment layer. In the effects settings, you can fine-tune the strength just like before. And that's how easy it is to enhance your video with this feature. Now let's move on to adding movement to your video. In Filmora 14, the new keyframe panel makes this process much smoother than in previous versions. First, I'll show you how to create some basic movements. Let's say you want to zoom in on the settings panel. Start by selecting the point where you want the movement to begin. Then create keyframes for scale and position. Then move a few seconds forward, and I increase the scale to 140. And adjust the position to like this. Now you have your first movement. Then to move the view to the left, create another set of keyframes in here. Then go a few seconds forward and adjust the position accordingly. Okay, now we make our basic movement. So after that, we need to smooth out the movement. So open the keyframe graph by clicking the keyframe icon. Then select all these keyframes and apply the ease out graph to the keyframes for smoother transitions. So do the same for all other keyframes. If the movement feels too slow, simply you can adjust the keyframe gaps to speed it up. And that's how you can create smooth and professional looking movements in your video. Next, let's talk about how to create a pop-out panel effect. So here I want to add that effect to this settings panel. So let's see how to do that. First, duplicate your video layer and change it to a compound clip. Then take a part of the layer you want to apply the effect. Then go to the Mask tool and choose a rectangle mask. Then adjust the mask to fit over the settings panel. Then go to the mask settings, and you can adjust the radius if you want, so I changed the radius to 5. So this one give nice round corner to this mask. With the mask applied, let's animate this. So go to the start, and create keyframes on scale and position. Then move a few seconds forward, and I increase the scale to 120. And adjust the position to make the panel pop out. To add depth, I enable a drop shadow effect. Change its color to black, adjust the distance to 3, blur to 13, and opacity to 55. Then we can animate the drop shadow using opacity. So I create a keyframe on opacity, then go to the start, and bring it down to 0. Alright, now we make the pop-out effect. So then let's see how to make it back to default. So it's very simple. So you need to do simply copy-paste these keyframes like this. Then to make the pop-out animation smoother, open the keyframe graph. Then select all these keyframes and apply the ease out graph to the keyframes for smoother transitions. So do the same for all other keyframes. Also additionally, we can add blur to the background to look this panel more clear. So let's see how to do that. So first I bring this layer to third layer, then go to the effects, select blur. Then select the square blur effect and add it to the timeline like this. Okay, now we have nice blur effect like this. Then you can adjust the blur size using these settings. Okay, we don't need this blur effect appear on whole background, so let's add a mask to this. So select the effect mask and select custom mask. Then I draw a mask like this. After that I change the blur strength to 100. And then you can adjust the extend you like. So I keep it to default. Alright, let's animate this blur effect. So go to the layer start and create a keyframe on opacity with value 0. Then go to few seconds forward and change the opacity back to 100. Then add a keyframe on here. And in the end change it back to 0. After that open the key graph and add ease out graph to all the keyframes. Alright, now we have cool pop-out panel effect like this. And that's how you create a smooth pop-out panel effect. If you need to apply this effect to another layer, you can easily copy-paste this effect like this. Then adjust the keyframes, and finally add the blur effect. Simple as that. Let's dive into adding some glow and light sweep effects to your video. These two effects are very easy to create, so let's start with layer glow effect. So this is the video clip I'm going to use, and I want to add that glow effect to this layer. Looks like I'm select that layer. So let's see how to make that. To add this, go to the Effects tab, search for Boris FX plus Light, and select the BCC Glow effect, and add it to the timeline. Then select a 15-frame segment of the layer like this. Next, select Effects Mask and use the Custom Mask tool. Then create a mask around the layer like this. Then adjust the blur strength and extent to your liking, so I change extent to 10 and blur strength to 20. Then you can go to the glow settings to adjust the brightness and color of the glow, so you can adjust them you liking. Then to animate the glow effect using keyframes, so go to the start and create a keyframe on opacity, then go to the end and change it to 0. Okay, now it looks like this. So you can see it looks I select that layer. So that's how I make the layer glow effect. Now let's move on to the next one, how to make the light sweep effect. For the light sweep effect, go to the Effects tab. Select Boris FX Light section. Then select BCC Light Sweep effect and add it to the timeline. Then take a part of this layer like this. Alright, after that go to the effects settings and first change the direction to 30. Center percentage to 0, and also shape value to 0. Then we need to add a mask to this layer like we did before, so I do it like this. After adding the mask you can adjust the blur strength you like. So I change it to something like 1. Then scroll down and select cone width. Then I change it to something like 350. Alright then, let's animate this light sweep effect. For that we're going to use this X position. So I animate it like this. After that, adjust the key graph. And that's it. That's how I made the layer glow and light sweep effect. You can see both of these effects are simple to make. For some dynamic movement, you can create 3D camera movements in Filmora. So in Filmora we don't have 3D camera feature, but we can make similar effect using a single effect. So there are two ways to do this: a simple method and an advanced method. So first, let's see what is the simple method. The simple method involves using built-in 3D motion effects. So just go to the Effects tab, search for 3D motion. Then we have two effects called 3D motion left and right. So select either the left or right 3D motion effect and apply it to your video, and you'll see the 3D movement right away. You can adjust settings like blur, blur position, effect speed, blur feather, and zoom. So this is the simple method to add 3D camera movement to your videos. So then let's see more advanced method to add 3D camera movements. The advanced method involves using Boris FX to create a more complex 3D effect. For that, go to the Effects tab, select Boris FX, select Stylize, then select BCC Cast Shadow Effect, and add it to the video layer. Then go to the Effects settings, and select Image Plane. And here you can adjust these position settings to animate a 3D movement. So I create a simple example like this. Then you can use the keyframe graph to smooth these movements. Also, additionally, you can add more effects like glow effect to get more highlighted look, and the mild shake effect to add nice wiggle movement, like this. So you can see both methods are easy to use, but I recommend the advanced one, as it offers more customizable settings. If you want to add a border or stroke line to your video, it's very simple to do. Start by selecting your video layer and changing it to a compound clip. Then, go to the Effects tab, search for border. So in Filmora we have few different border style, but here I'm using this default one. Okay, let's adjust the settings. So go to the Effects settings. And here you can adjust the border size, blur, and opacity to fit your video's aesthetic. One cool thing about the border effect, you can use two colors for the border, which can give a unique look to your video. Once you're happy with the settings, you've got a simple and stylish border around your video like this. The 3D screen effect is similar to the 3D camera movement we created earlier, but it's more focused on creating a screen-like effect. So the first thing you need to do, reduce the scale of your video a bit to give some space around the edges. Then change the video layer to a compound clip. So I already done that. Then we need to add the BCC Cast Shadow effect to create the 3D look. So go to the Effects tab, select Boris FX, select Stylize, then select BCC Cast Shadow effect, and add it to the video layer. Then go to the Effects settings, and select Image Plane. And like before, adjust the position settings to animate the movement, and make it look like the video is on a 3D surface. So I make simple example like this. Also, if it appears shadow effect like this, you can simply remove that, go to the shadow plane section, and increase the position Z value, remove the shadow. Then you can make a simple 3D movement like this. So guys, that's how you can create awesome 3D screen effect in Filmora. So it's a simple effect, and it adds a really cool 3D feel to your videos. Before we dive into the next effect, I want to let you know about an exciting new activity happening on Wondershare Filmora. By joining, you'll have a chance to win free access to Filmora for 7 days, earn 300 AI credits for your account, and there's even a chance to win a DJI Action 5 Pro. Check out the link in the description below for all the details. Huge thanks to Wondershare for sponsoring this video, and now, let's get back to it. The black shade effect is great for drawing attention to a specific part of your video, so here how to do it. To create this effect, start by adding a black color from the stock media and placing it on the timeline like this. Then go to the mask and apply a circle mask. Then I change the height to 50 to get perfect circle and change the scale to 120. Then I change the mask to invert and add some blur strength to make the edges smooth. Okay, now we have a black shade effect, but it feels too dark. To soften the dark effect, go to the opacity and adjust the opacity to around 60. Alright, now we made the black shade effect, so let's see how to animate this. So go to your first keyframe and create a keyframe in opacity with the value 0. Then go to the next one and bring it back to 60. Okay, now we animate the opacity, but we need to focus on settings panel on the video. So let's adjust the mask. So go to the first keyframe and create a keyframe on mask position. Then go to the next keyframe and I change the mask X position to 110 to focus on the right side like this. Also, you can see we have nice shade look in the left side as well. So that's how I add the black shade to my videos. It's very easy, and you can continue the same thing to your whole video to get awesome look. This effect is great for highlighting important elements in your videos. Next up is sound effects. One of the most important elements in video editing. In this video, I'm sharing the sound effects pack that I use for my own videos, so you can download it from the link in the pinned comment. So let's see how to use the perfect sound effect for this video. So I need to add whoosh sound effect for this. So I select this sound effect for that. Then I add it to timeline. But you can see it not perfectly matched to the video, so let's speed up a little bit. So go to the speed, and let's try 2x speed. Okay, now you can see it's perfectly matched. Also, here's another quick tip for improving sound design. Adjust the audio balance for a more dynamic feel. For example, this settings panel slides in from the right side, so I'll shift the audio slightly to the right like this, making it feel like the sound is coming from that direction. This is a simple and cool trick I use all the time. If this is new to you, give it a try, you'll notice the difference. The The final technique we'll cover is using audio transitions. When creating longer videos, you often need to use multiple soundtracks and blend them smoothly. Doing this manually can be time-consuming, but Filmora has audio transitions that make it much easier. In this example, I have 2 soundtracks. Let's give them a listen. Now, to make the transition smoother, I'll add a fade out at the end of the first song and a fade in at the start of the second song. Here's how to do it with audio transitions. First, go to the Transitions tab and select Audio Transitions. Filmora offers 4 types of audio transitions, and for this example, I'll use the exponential fade transition. I'll apply it here between the tracks. You can also adjust the duration in the settings for a more customized transition. Let's play it back to hear the result. As you can see, this technique not only saves editing time, but also makes your transitions sound seamless and professional. Alright, next I'll walk you through an extra tutorial on creating a short video like this in Filmora. First, import your screen recorded clip. In this case, I'm using a clip from my upcoming editing tutorial. Once your clip is added to the timeline, duplicate this layer and mute the sound on the duplicate. Next, we'll crop the preview window in one layer and the timeline in the other. Start by selecting the first layer, then open the crop tool. Set the ratio to custom and adjust the crop area to focus on the preview window. Now that we've set up the first layer, let's move to the second one. This time, adjust the crop area on this layer to focus on the timeline instead. After cropping, adjust the scale and position of both layers to make sure they're well aligned. Now we'll add some animation to the timeline. Move to the beginning of the clip. Create a keyframe for the position. Then move to an end point in the clip and shift the timeline to the left. Then drag this keyframe to the end of the clip. Finally, you can enhance the look by adding Auto Enhance to both layers and apply a drop shadow to the preview window for a polished finish. And that's it. So those are the video effects I use in my editing process. Now you can try these out in your own projects to take your editing skills to the next level. You can also download my sound effects pack, along with grid backgrounds and overlay effects. I've left the link in the pinned comment, so feel free to check it out. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and if you like this video, please hit the like button, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel. So thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.